angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth of stone, our ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. Wow, you want to talk about another day of last minute just absolutely acting like a crazy maniac. Now, I don't mean like in the manner that I was yesterday. I'm in a bit of a better mood today, although we'll see how that goes. Last minute, by the way, you're probably waiting to hear me say something, and I'm just giving you a little bit of heads up. You're not going to hear it, okay? And we'll get to that. Many people that have followed this channel, let me rephrase that because there are really not that many people, but the people that have followed this channel for any length of time probably has already figured out just what I am talking about and already know why. So before we go there, the reason why I'm kind of so distracted coming into this show is just moments before I went live, so did We Are Changed. And they are he is at Washington, D.C., I guess maybe he's there to cover this big parade that's going on or whatnot. And the headline of his live stream, I've got it up right now. I've got it in the background. It's muted. Is live White House flag burning protest. So I obviously didn't even know I was going to be discussing this at all whatsoever. But here we are. I do have quite a bit that I am going to be discussing in the monologue that directly affects today and the meaning about today, and this is part of it. Okay, this live stream that came up, absolutely a part of the discussion. I just didn't know it ahead of time. So, not that I support burning the flag. Let me say that right up front, very first and foremost, I do not support burning the flag. Not in any way, shape, or form. I do believe it's part of your First Amendment right, but I disagree with it. And that's the importance, that we understand what our rights are, and more importantly, we understand what other people's rights are, but at the same time, we stand for our morals, our convictions, and while this country needs a lot of work, burning the flag, that I think is taking it quite a bit too far, not the First Amendment per se, but the sentiment. In my opinion, burning the flag is pretty well equal to burning the Constitution. So, I don't think we need to burn the Constitution. What I think we need to do is legalize the Constitution. Okay? A far cry away from burning it. So, anyway, we will get into that. I've got quite a bit of stuff to talk to you about, including this. I've still got it going on live in the background here to kind of monitor to see what goes on. Let me run through the normal spiel of things, and we'll get started. I think maybe you're going to like this. Maybe not. You might hate it. I don't know. So anyway, let me get the right screen up front here. Okay, Amazon Associate, we are up to $16.62. I can't remember where we were yesterday. I have no idea. I show total items shipped as 17, but total ordered item is 10. And the reason why it says that is because there were items ordered at the very end of last month those are coming in as items shipped. So I do believe I recall that we had 9 ordered items yesterday. So it would seem that there's another one. So whatever. I mean, I appreciate it. That's the point of what I'm saying. I highly appreciate it, very, very much so. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in the description of our videos, there's an Amazon affiliate link. We are an Amazon affiliate. If you click that link before you do your shopping, it will take you to Amazon. You do your searches, your shops, or go to your wish list, whatever the case may be. It will give us credit for that sale. It doesn't cost you anything more. It throws a little bit our way, and all those little bits add up. At the end of this month, we're looking at $88. Okay, that is amazing, and it is highly, highly appreciated. You have no idea how appreciated it is. So anyway, that's one method, and I'm going to go over again the other methods because this is new with the new website. So if you go to the watchmannews.com, another place that you can get a hold of the Amazon affiliate link is right here at the watchmannews.com, the very top right where it says Amazon affiliate link. Same thing. You click that, it will take you to Amazon, but it does so with our little ID. So that way it will give us credit if you make purchases and yada, 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 right? So the other thing that is absolutely new that I've been working on is the Amazon store. And it's up here at top too. And you click on that, and that will take you to our Amazon store on Facebook. On Amazon, not Facebook, sorry. Let me click this so it shows you what you see. Otherwise it shows me my version of it. Anyway, we've got different categories here. We've got items in those categories, and again, if you choose items from the store when you make your purchases, it's the same deal. It gives us credit for the sale. Doesn't cost you anything more. It gives us a little bit of money, and it's much appreciated. It's a great way to support the show because it's not like you don't get anything out of it. You still get what you wanted, and it throws a little bit our way. And it's like I say, it's much appreciated. It's a great method to go with for us and for those that want to partake in the program. So again, much appreciated. If you don't shop Amazon, and some people don't, some people think it's the devil. I personally don't. I love Amazon. I actually really love Amazon over eBay these days, but you can understand that why if you listen to yesterday's show. So we've also got a donate button on our website at thewatchmannews.com. If you click that donate button, it will take you to our PayPal donation page. I always show this, well, not the error. Sometimes that happens. If you ever see that come up, refresh your page. Just refresh your page, and it will fix the problem. It's a token thing. It'll fix the problem and bring up the right page. So, but it does say donate to Transforming Disabilities up top. That is us. So I don't want you to be confused by that. It will say Purpose the Watchman News donation. Another thing, it's never required. It's always highly, and I mean highly, appreciated. I mean, you have no idea. You have no idea. It helps us get things to review for the show, and at the same time, it helps us get prepping items. And again, it's immensely appreciated, and it does all go to good use. Let's see. That's all that stuff. So let me comment a little bit on this little flag burning party thing. So I've got a couple of things that come to mind, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because, like I said, I've already had some things picked out that I wanted to discuss and wanted to show you. This was just very last minute, and at the same time, it kind of plays into everything that I'm trying to say. So I think it's important. Let me have a sip of coffee real quick. Oh, look, porn bots over there on We Are Change. Imagine that. Imagine that. Okay. So some of you, or I would hope to say many of you, remember what it was like to be a child. And I certainly do, to some extent. And I can remember, and I don't know if Jen's had this experience or not. Jen had a little bit of a different experience growing up for obvious reasons. So it'd be kind of interesting to hear whether or not you ever had to hear this. Most of us had to hear this, okay? So let's say you were getting picked on in school, okay? And now that, I would imagine, might have been an issue for you, but how it was dealt with might be a little different. So, I know God. No, I was like low man on the totem pole in school. I was not a popular kid at all. And I can remember getting the age-old advice a million times. If you just ignore them, they will go away. Did you hear that? Did you get that? Or I was going to say, I figured your experience would be a little different. Okay. For most of us, at some point or another in our childhood, we had that little bit of golden nugget of advice, right? And I look at this stuff going on, and I know you can't see the screen that I'm looking at, but, you could imagine there's quite a few people gathered around. Obviously, some in support of whoever it is mission there, and some in opposition. That's just the way it normally goes. But are we being hypocritical as adults, or are we being childish adults? Seriously, I'm asking you to ask that question to yourself. I'm not asking for an answer. I don't care. I don't care. Personally, if I were to answer that question, I would think I personally think we're being childish adults. Some of these folks, like these flag burners, okay, would probably go away if they were ignored. Okay, they just probably would. So that was the main thought that had come to mind. But I want to take it one more step, because a lot of people, man, they just really get all butthurt whenever this happens, right? In fact, I'm looking at some dude, right, that's got his chest all puffed up. I can't really see him now. There he is. He got his chest all puffed up. He's all upset. He's getting ready to throw down there. He's got an American flag shirt on, right? Which, by the way, is technically desecration of the flag. But we won't even go there, right? We won't even talk about that. That's not the issue at hand here. Let's talk about the flag and its symbolism. Okay? Symbolism. Let me ask you this, okay? Because when you talk about things like this, you have to bring analogies into it. Because if you don't bring analogies into it, what you're going to be dealing with is pure emotion. And when you're dealing with pure emotion, there is generally no logic involved. So let's go somewhere for a little bit. Come with me on this trip, right? So, you would think that a priest would be a religious man, correct? I would hope. That's the idea, right? Priest, religion, right? You would think that a priest would be a religious man and that he would follow religious doctrine. Okay? Well, as you may have heard in the news over the last, several decades, there has been a major issue with pedophilia in the priesthood. So would you say that those pedophile priests use the Catholic Church as a vessel for life, for a way of life, or as a matter of symbolism? Now we're getting somewhere. Is it possible that people on both sides of this flag here are both treating that flag as a form of symbolism? It's actually a good segue into what I had really intended to talk to you about. Really good segue. So, oh gosh, it's like a child in a candy store, what I'm looking at. You only see the home page, I know what's behind it. So, there was a couple conversations on Facebook today. You've had me start out a lot of shows like this, have you not? So, a couple of conversations on Facebook today, and I want to get into that. There's also a couple of news stories that I want to get into, and all of this is related to 4th of July, and consequentially, you know the word, why you will not be hearing me say what everybody else has probably been telling you today. Won't do it. Sorry. If it makes you feel better, I barbecued burgers today, right? It wasn't because it was a particular day, for the most part. I just, you know what? We had the stuff to barbecue burgers. I wanted barbecue burgers, and why not? So that was why. A beer sounds good. I have to admit that a beer sounds good. But yeah, I mean. I would have probably barbecued regardless of what day it was. Nonetheless, let's get on with it. I'm rambling in my thought, although it's not coming out of my mouth. Okay, so somebody had posted on Facebook, and by the way, I'm in no mean demeaning anybody here. What I'm trying to do is point out the things that I say, the responses that I say. Not that it's about me, but I do believe it's about the thought, okay? So, this lady had posted something I have found seriously disturbing this morning in a lot of groups, not this one. People have been posting flags and memes or whatever about the 4th, and the reactions have been, this doesn't belong here. No politics on this page. And those have been the mild ones. These people that are commenting are all from the U.S. Now, 4 days ago, on the 1st, many members from Canada posted for Canada Day, and not a single negative response. Have we reached a point that the birthday of our nation is so political and offensive that it should be removed? Enjoy your Independence Day, everyone. Oh, good point. And I want to point out that I would never at any time tell people not to tell each other the greeting that they normally say today. I wouldn't do that. For one, I don't want to control you. I have no interest in controlling you or your thoughts or your actions, or no interest in that. I believe in independent liberty. Okay? So, I did respond to this. Okay? I did respond to this. Possibly not in the manner that you would think. Let me scroll down, because as you know, 5 million people had posted flags and ooh-ah, right? I think more and more people are realizing that they are or would be celebrating mere symbolism. If you reflect on what the day represents and the reality of today, it is literally 1776 and 1984. Literally. Of course, you could also be dealing with blue snowflakes that hate this country, or hate what this country is supposed to represent as well. So, anyway, the original poster responded, "Oh, it's blue snowflakes." I thought that was hilarious. And I said, "LOL, well then that certainly explains it. Usually folks in my line of thinking would never say not to talk about it. We just point out the irony of it. We want and need people to talk about it because we love our country with everything we have. So much so, we risk constant persecution for pointing out uncomfortable truths in hopes that we can start on fixing it. But to not want anything about it discussed certainly sounds like a snowflake." Anyway, I thought, that was a good kind of intro into my line of thinking. And I thought at the very end, the very last thing that I am aware of that was posted, and clearly somebody else posted since then, but somebody had even posted, "Independence Day is not political. They can get over it." What? I can't even wrap my head around that. Not even remotely. I cannot wrap my head around that. Wow. Okay. Well. So, let me have a sip of coffee. This next one's going to be a doozy. Doozy, I say. So, there was an article that came out And I'm going to be showing you where I seen the article from. I did share the article out in the news today, here not long, too awful long ago. I shared this article out. So, I had seen this article. I thought it was important to post it, especially today of all days. It's important to post this article. Okay? And this is from the Western Journal, the Conservative Tribune. And Camping World CEO ready to go to prison over giant American flag. Now, before anybody jumps in any corners here, let me add a little bit of information here. Okay? This is the same gentleman that had made a comment at one time. Something to the effect that either Trump supporters weren't welcome at his business or whatever, however it was worded. It's been a little while, right? But let me go ahead and read a little bit of the article, okay, and then we'll get into the latter part of what I just said, and we'll kind of try to bring it all together. And that I've got a couple more articles for the monologue that is important when we're thinking about independence. Insanely important, and it's actually some pushes for that true independence, and that's important. We need to know, right? If we are going to fight this battle for independence, to make this country great again, right? We have to know what the battles are and where they're going to be at. So I want to give you a couple of those battles today. Anyway, let me go ahead and read a little bit of the article here. Being threatened with jail time for proudly flying your nation's flag seems like something that would never happen in America, but that's exactly what a businessman in this country is now facing. Not just this guy. You've got veterans left and right that are facing either fines or incarceration or whatever the case may be, because they might live in a neighborhood that's in an HOA and somebody's all offended and butthurt by the American flag or the Marine Corps flag or whatever flag they decide to get upset about, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of problems. Look, folks, this is crazy. You will always see me push and fight for individual liberty, okay? I don't care if you want to fly a flag with the poop emoji on it. I don't care. You should have that right. You should have that right. I don't care. But you should most certainly, in the United States of America, be able to fly the American flag proudly, and or the flag of any of its armed service men and women, or militias, or anybody that is in support of this nation and ready to go to war for it. You damn well should be able to fly any one of their flags with pride, with honor. Period. That's the way it should be. Right? That should be allowed. Now, to force people to do it would be nationalism. That would be wrong. That would be wrong. But to force people not to be able to do it would even be more wrong. I hope you follow my line or understand the line of what I'm trying to say there, right? It's something that it shouldn't be forced on people to do, and it certainly shouldn't be forced to not be able to do. It's insane. It's insane. These people don't even realize, the people that are complaining, the people that are offended and they're complaining, the ones that are demanding these flags come down, they don't even realize that it's because of that freedom, that very freedom, that allows them to say such things, to request such things. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Wow. Folks didn't get hit with the stupid stick, they got hit with the whole damn forest. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Marcus Lemonis is the CEO of Camping World and its affiliate company, Gander RV. The energetic 45-year-old entrepreneur sure doesn't look like a criminal, but says he's being treated like one after refusing to take down a large American flag at one of his North Carolina locations. As we covered previously, and we've covered this as well, I talked about this story before, Lemonis is taking a patriotic stand and facing steep fines for leaving the giant flag up. But now he also says that even jail time won't cause him to change his mind. Camping World CEO Marcus Lemonis dismissed the $50 per day fine criticism from the Statesville government and prospect of future imprisonment in an interview Monday with Martha McCallum on The Story, Fox News reported on Monday. The issue is a massive American flag which flies atop the RV dealership in Statesville, North Carolina, along Interstate 77. The City Council says the 40 by 80 foot flag violates the city ordinance and has imposed a fine in excess of $10,000 for the violation. They've even filed a lawsuit, but Lemonis isn't budging. The ordinance doesn't matter to me, the CEO told Fox News. He acknowledges that the huge flag is technically against a local ordinance, but said that the city is being unreasonable. If you look at the North Carolina statute, it says as long as it's not impairing someone's health and well-being, it's not a big deal, Lemonis explained. They made the claim it would cause an accident on the freeway because it was too distracting. It was too beautiful. Why doesn't the businessman simply give in and remove the flag or replace it with a smaller one? The answer is that Lemonis is a legal immigrant to the United States. A legal one. A legal one. Legal. Legal. And sees the stars and stripes as an important symbol of American greatness. Sounds like a man we need to get behind. Whether he doesn't like Trump or not is irrelevant. Says, I'm a legal immigrant to this country and I'm grateful for it, he said. He also noted that keeping the flag up is the least he can do for men and women in uniform to whom the banner has important meaning. I think all of the men and women and the police officers that have protected me and gave me the chance to come here, Lemonis said, it's my small way of paying it back. When veterans show up at the stores for flag raisings, and when they come on Saturdays and do their veteran rides, and when they weep at the bottom of the flagpole, that's the conviction that I need to say it's not going to come down, he explained. I would rather go to jail. He sure doesn't seem to be joking. When pressed by the Fox News journalist, the Camping World CEO pointed out that being taken away in handcuffs over the size of an American flag is a very real possibility. The city filed a lawsuit 2 months ago. They asked for a motion to ask the court to have me take it down, he said. If we won't take it down, I will be in violation of the court order. Their reaction from the city is that I will go to jail. You might call it civil disobedience while the local ordinance doesn't appear clear. Threatening to jail a patriotic immigrant who is providing countless jobs seems like a bad move. It becomes downright ridiculous when you remember that it is all over the dimensions of an American flag. And hundreds of thousands of citizens apparently agree. A Change.org petition asking the city of Statesville to drop the issue has so far been signed by over 300,000 people. Yet the standoff continues. You realize that's almost 10% of the people of the United States of America, right? Here's some free advice to the city council. Swallow your pride and let the man fly the giant flag. Continue to press the issue to the point of jail time will only serve to make the city look like a villain, all over a minor ordinance. See, that's the problem with this whole authority thing in this country. We'll somewhat get to that. There are far too many real problems in our country to be this upset over enthusiastic patriotism. Our country could use more hard-working, enterprising people like Lamonis, and if there were ever a perfect symbol of the American dream that the immigrant entrepreneur is living, it would be Old Glory. Amen. And God bless America. Seriously, I mean that. That's heartfelt. That is heartfelt. I know a rather young man, not a young man, I guess he's a little younger than me, I think, like by a couple of years, but he also is an immigrant to this country from the Czech Republic. And I haven't spoke to him, and it's just been a little while since I've crossed paths with him. I haven't spoke to him in a little while, but the last I knew, he owned 2 businesses, okay? And he was absolutely top of the line in his service, okay? If anybody deserves to migrate to this country and be given a shot in the United States of America, this man, without a doubt, he is everything that embodies this country. Immigration is important as long as it's legal, as long as it's done through the proper channels. It's important. People that go through those proper channels typically create huge positives for this nation because of their gratefulness. Those that just walk over the border without any consequence, they don't even know to be grateful. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But I'm going to go, again, I originally got this from Facebook. So we're going to go over to that. Here's where they originally posted the article. And as you can probably guess, well, as you can guess, I'm going to sip of coffee, but hang on. As you can probably guess, there are a lot of people knowing that, that this guy, this is the guy that at one time said that, he didn't even want Trump supporters' business. You have to understand the context of it all, okay? And he certainly has the right to feel that way. This is a guy that true red-blooded, Constitution-loving Americans should be standing behind. And whether or not he likes and or supports the elected president is kind of pointless. The forefathers, when they created this country, they wanted us to have those individual liberties. You didn't have to. You weren't forced to like anybody or anything. As long as you didn't cause harm to another individual, you were good. Period. Period. Feelings did not matter. So you've got comment after comment after comment, Unreal. This guy. Is it wrong? It is wrong. Let's see. Well, he got it typed. Is it wrong that while I appreciate his fighting for the right to the flag, I really hope he goes to jail? Really? Over a guy that they're obsessed with his personality. Really? It's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. This guy, and this is what I wanted to show you. He had wrote, I agree with y'all. I'm conflicted on this. There were a lot of people that were saying they're kind of conflicted on this. He said, I don't like him, but like his position on this issue. A lady had spoke up and she had said, I just wish I didn't feel that his position was actually a lie to get publicity. I don't think that's what this is. Listen to the cause. They probably didn't even read the article, to be honest. Okay? Once you understand about the man's journey and the true meaning of the flag to that man, you understand this is not about publicity. This is about pride. This is about honor. This is about thanks. This is about the very reason we should be flying that flag and why we should be celebrating today. But so many people are willing to piss on that whole notion because he said something about their King Trump. Interesting. So anyway, this gentleman responds, he replies, I understand. I stopped trying to read into situations and people. I deal with them as they appear. I look for the most positive way to see the situation and choose to see it that way. People and situations always reveal their true selves over time. Amen, brother. I agree with him 110%. You know, if somebody's doing you harm or causing you issue, all you have to do is wait them out. You know? You do the right thing. You go on about your life. You do you. Go on about your life. And they will reveal their true selves. Oh, they'll fall over their own feet to do it. And the more that you continue just to go on about your own life and do your own things, the more to piss them off. The more they'll trip over their own feet. You know anything about what's happening in my personal life here lately, you'll see the perfect example of that. Perfect example of it. So anyway, I jumped in and I responded here. This is what I had to say. I would say anytime you are conflicted with how you should look at something, you should try to go to the root of it all. I'd say look to the framers of this nation. The ones that created this nation based on individual liberty, that said you should not be persecuted merely for those you seek acquaintance with or those that you did not seek it with. They felt the same about religion. They didn't want anyone to be forced to like one particular religion or any religion at all, although they based the country itself off of godly principles. Do you think they would condemn a man for not liking one single person, or would they condemn people that stand by idly as their work is being destroyed by two political parties that they did not even approve of? Go back to the original intent of this nation. You'll find your answer there. For everything in life, I go back to the Bible and the Constitution. It makes everything so very crystal clear. Just my thoughts. So that's what I responded to that. That's what I responded to that. This is crazy. This is truly crazy. Until we get a little bit better direction in this country, until we get a little bit of a better understanding of where we are and where we're supposed to be, I can't find a reason to celebrate. I just can't. I recognize the day. I know what happened today. Well, actually 2 days ago. But I understand that. But what's that matter if I understand it? If I understand it, but it's not true today, and I still celebrate anyway, is that not just symbolism? Do you think a pedophile priest should be able to continue to be a priest because he says he loves God? Or should he be removed? Things we really need to think about. So I told you I was going to give you an idea of a couple of battles that are ongoing, and you may or may not want to follow these things. You may or may not want to get involved in these things, but these are both very important things. One of the big problems in this country, as I see it, is the two-party system. I have personally watched, on a number of occasions, third-party options come forward and get washed away without even a chance. And we're talking about very viable people. We're talking about people that would undoubtedly do their very best to make this a better place. They don't even get allowed to participate in debates. That's how bad it is. That is how bad that it is. They will absolutely not let a third party anywhere near a big seat in this country. Sure, you get independents as mayors here and there, and I'm sure I'd have to look, but I think you've had a handful of independent governors, but it's rare. It's rare, and in most cases, those that are truly independent, like I said, they don't even get to take part in the debates, or if they at least get into the first debate, they don't get into any after that. That's what happened in Illinois this last go-around. Cash Jackson, there was a very viable candidate, without a doubt, the best candidate. They let him in the first debate, although they done nothing but shun and scoff him when they did even talk to him or give him the opportunity to speak, which was rare. But he wasn't allowed in any debates after that. How was that? And in my opinion, I think he wiped the floor with everybody else on it, with what little he did get to say. It's crazy. So anyway, there's an article. Justin Amash's call for a break from the U.S. two-party system falls on deaf ears. Shouldn't fall on deaf ears, folks. Let me read the article real quick. Representative Justin Amash left Republican Party and became a hero for Donald Trump's opponents and possible presidential candidate. But his urge for re-examination of the two-party system may seem too much for U.S. politics to stomach. Amash argues that heightened levels of partisanship have distorted the country's founding fathers' vision of liberty and limited government. Have I not argued the very same thing? As a result, Congress has turned into little more than a rubber stamp for the executive branch of government, he wrote in a Washington Post op-ed on Thursday. Have I not said the same thing on multiple occasions? On the same day, he announced that he was leaving the Republican Party and will continue to represent Michigan's 2nd Congressional District as an independent. The news was greeted with delight from President Trump. You don't say. Who had earlier railed against Amash as a traitor to the party after calling for his impeachment, Trump tweeted. The Post described him as an endangered species for his anti-Trump stance and a party that has largely rallied around the president in spite of the president veering from Republican orthodoxy on a number of issues, including trade policy. His call for a reevaluation of the U.S. two-party system has not been well received either. The Post points out that the only Republican so far this century has left the party to sit in Congress as an independent, Jim Jeffords of Vermont, in 2001. His proposal to run for president as an independent or on a third-party ticket has also been met with skepticism. Commentators have pointed out that third-party candidates often only end up affecting the outcome of elections by distorting the result as a spoiler candidate. Notable examples of this phenomenon include Pat Buchanan's run for president in 2000, Ralph Nader's run in 2004, and Jill Stein's in 2016. Taking a significant share of the vote in 2020 could render him a perceived spoiler, a new Ralph Nader, as the Post puts it. Some Twitter users, however, were more optimistic about the prospect of him running in the 2020 presidential election. Folks, we need to stop it with the two-party system. They are both responsible for the destruction of this nation. Both. And they're actually working with one another. It is so easy to see, but you'll never see it if you're part of one of the two parties. You won't see it. I say it many times, and I hope that people grasp it. The left creates the nanny state. However, just creating a nanny state in and of itself, by itself, does no good if you have no way to make it so. Well, that's where the right comes in. The right creates the police state, in which, in turn, enforces the nanny state. Something you need to think long and hard on. We need to stop voting for colors and names. We need to start voting for candidates. It's insane. It's insane. So anyway, that's one thing going on, and there's really not a plan or place there other than, we really need to fight for these independents, for these third parties. There's a lot of good opportunities in them, but they get passed up because they're not red or blue. Mind-blowing. More symbolism, by the way. Can you see how dangerous symbolism is? The Bible warned you about symbolism. This country's forefathers, they warned on numerous occasions about symbolism. Maybe we need to pay attention to what we're doing and why. So this is a positive, and this is something that I think any and all of us could get behind. Kind of comes from a shocking place, in my opinion, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Let me have a sip. We'll get into it. Stop abuse by big tech. Wikipedia co-founder issues Declaration of Digital Independence. That is awesome. That is awesome. Let's read this article, and then we'll get into the news headlines and whatnot. Be a little bit of a long monologue today, but I think you understand why. Wikipedia co-founder Larry Sanger is calling for a decentralized internet and a boycott of social media, while his own brainchild is accused of corporate-like intrusion into the community's self-governing domain. Every person using the internet has unalienable digital rights, a lengthy document conspicuously resembling the U.S. Declaration of Independence and published on the Sanger's website, says defining these freedoms as free speech, privacy, and security. The appeal, published in late June, just days before Independence Day in the U.S., states that these rights were unceremoniously violated by the vast digital empires which have mercilessly exploiting humanity for their own profit. It then goes on to list the long train of abuses that ordinary internet users have suffered at the hands of greedy corporations, which includes a wide range of misdeeds, from extracting private data without the explicit consent of the owners and marketing them to advertisers, to allowing corporate and government surveillance over social media users and the arbitrary banning of undesired opinions due to political and ideological reasons. The declaration, compiled by Sanger, the man who helped start Wikipedia back in 2001, and served as the project community leader before leaving it just a year later, eventually calls for people to unite in an effort to snub the exploitative tech giants and create the decentralized internet free from corporate control. According to Sanger, the new bright future of the internet should be based on strong privacy guarantees, end-to-end encryption, universal technical standards and protocols, and users retaining exclusive control of their personal data and any content they publish on the net. On a more practical note, the proclamation urges those with the necessary skills to code, design... Oh, is he saying to learn to code? Triggered! Anyway, code, design, and participate in newer and better networks, while calling on the broader public to simply eschew the older, controlling, and soon-to-be outmoded networks, apparently referring to the likes of Facebook and Twitter. Sanger did not limit himself to a general appeal only, though. He also called for a social media strike scheduled for July 4th and 5th. I didn't know about it. In time, anyway. In fact, I got this today. The action is expected to involve people abandoning their social media accounts for these 2 days, except for posting the notion that they are on strike. Not working too well, because I haven't seen one person do this. It is unclear, however, how many people have heeded Sanger's call to action. So far, by 1740 General Mountain Time, almost 1,400 people voted in a poll on the issue launched by Sanger on Twitter, with slightly more than half saying they would join the strike. The developments come as Wikipedia, arguably, one of the last bastions of internet freedom, I don't know about that one, will traditionally has a strong community of editors and takes pride in its self-regulating practices, faces what was even described as nothing less than a constitutional crisis. The scandal was unleashed by the Wikimedia Foundation, a U.S. nonprofit group which hosts Wikipedia and is expected to refrain from interfering in community matters. Despite this, it banned one Wikipedia administrator, an encyclopedia community member, from editing the English version of the website for 1 year. The person with the username Fram, who faced the sanction, was suspected of hounding and harassing at least 11 Wikipedia editors, yet his ban sparked a wave of indignation among the community and led to at least 21 Wikipedia administrators leaving their posts in the weeks after the incident. One particularly frustrated operator also decommissioned a bot in his protest. And ARBCOM, a sort of Supreme Court of Wikipedia elected by the community, even said that if Fram's ban, an unappealable sanction issued from above with no community consultation, represents the WMF's new strategy for dealing with harassment on the English Wikipedia. It is one that is fundamentally misaligned with the Wikimedia movement's principles of openness, consensus, and self-governance. It was apparently not bothered not bothered that Fram allegedly told members of ARBCom to crawl into a corner and shut up or collectively resign just a month before his ban, as they failed to take any action in response. Meanwhile, WMF justified its actions precisely by the community inaction. The foundation told the Slate magazine that it takes action only in very particular circumstances where there is no gap in the community's ability to successfully address a known challenge or for legal reasons, adding that there were only 32 such cases since 2012. That's pretty good. The community, however, appears to be unconvinced, arguing that the WMF follows in the footsteps of Facebook and Twitter in the community management. Whether or not this case will be a serious blow to the online knowledge hub is an open question, though. So it's important, and this battle is important, and we need another Declaration of Independence. We need to not only reinforce the one that we already have for this nation as a physical sense, we need to instate one in a digital sense. And I think many people would agree with that. I really, really do. You know, what is going on the internet is literally just mind-blowing. The censorship on the platforms, you name it. The data that is being stolen under the guise of security or safety or whatever is insane. You have to understand, everything we do, every email that you send, every text message you send, every video call you make, everything you do online that involves a data connection is tracked, traced, and databased. Everything. This has been even admitted. How many people in government did you see come out against Julian Assange or Edward Snowden and say that their claims were wrong, that they were lying? You didn't. You didn't. So, why am I not going to say those words today that you're so used to hearing? Because I'm looking for a day that it means something. And I assure you, I will be the first to say it. I will scream it at the top of my lungs. No doubt about that. But I won't do it for mere symbolism. I was warned by Father God not to do that. And I was warned by Forefather Washington. Sure in the hell don't want to just openly slap either of them in the face. Okay, let's do some headlines, shall we? We'll get out of this monologue and continue on. People are probably thinking, thank God, sheesh, finally. Okay, Amsterdam's first female mayor to ban prostitutes on display. This is just a damn shame. No, I don't know. I wanted to share that though because prostitution and all that stuff has been a cornerstone of Amsterdam. It just has. Freedom, in my opinion, that the word freedom has been a cornerstone of Amsterdam. It really has. It's just crazy that they're tightening down over there on these things. I'm not saying whether it's good or it's bad or I think any restriction on freedom is a bad thing. I don't understand all of it. It just says prostitutes on display. Okay? So I can kind of understand that. Right? There's a lot of families that go to Amsterdam. And I could understand why they wouldn't necessarily want certain things to be seen by those families just out openly on the streets. So, yeah, It's one of those moral things. It's just one of those moral things, I guess. But I figured I would share that. I thought that was a little bit different. No, it's not United States, but we aren't just about the United States. We stand for the entire world. So I shared it. One person killed after Minsk firework extravaganza goes terribly wrong. Amazon admits it keeps some Alexa recordings even when users delete them. Yeah, anybody that gets these home devices like this, they did it to themselves. Peru invites China, Russia to Lima Group meeting so they can be a part of solution in Venezuela. Police dropping crime prediction software because it's ineffective, not because it's Orwellian. I would say both reasons would be a good reason to drop it. It's crazy. That's California though, there. So I'm sure that they'll work on the AI on those programs, and you'll hear about them again. No doubt of that. California passes law to protect black people's natural hair from discrimination. Really? Oh, yeah, California. Go figure, right? Look, folks, wear your hair, or your lack of hair, however the hell you want. Seriously. And if you got a problem with the way somebody else wears their hair, get over yourself. There shouldn't need to be laws made about this. That goes for either side of it, though. People should be able to wear their hair however the hell they want to wear it. It's their hair. Mind-blowing. There shouldn't have to be laws made about this stuff because of selfish dictator people. Well, I don't think that they should. It's not your damn hair. Jesus. Insane. Divide and conquer in action as Bolton hails sanctions for severing ties between Cuba and Venezuela. I sit there and I read that headline and I think about freedom of association and I think about free trade and I think about just how far this country has gone down the toilet. They're doing this stuff to control other nations. They're doing this stuff in their own country to control their own citizens. I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And everybody's flipping burgers today and drinking beers and flying flags and thinking that they're free. Unbelievable. Russia has political will for arms reduction deal, but ball is in the U.S. court, says Putin. By the way, a lot of people argue to the comment that I just made, well, it's still the most free nation in the country. No, it's not. Try again. Try again. Just how many countries do you think the parents would have to pay a fine because their child was selling lemonade in the front yard? Freest nation in the world. How many military veterans, right, in other countries would go to jail for having a pond on their property, right? Elderly military veterans in poor health, sitting in a prison, dying because they had a pond on their property. Freest nation. Really. Deadly fire at the deep-sea Russian sub started in battery compartment. Reactor secured, says the Ministry of Defense. North Korea slams U.S. for urging more sanctions the same day Trump invited Kim to DMZ. Houthis fear Saudis can exploit UN-gathered biometrics in military fashion in Yemen. You hear that, by the way? UN-gathered biometrics. Land of the free. Pentagon gives soldiers pre-approved lines to parrot at 4th of July event. Ever feel like banging on your head up against a brick wall? Beijing insists all U.S. tariffs should be removed for a trade deal to happen. Playing part in anti-Tehran policy, ? UK Marines seize ship with alleged Iranian crude for Syria. Enough to make grown men cry, 45,000 barrels of bourbon goes up in flames. Good bourbon, I might add. I'm not a drinker, but I do know Jim Beam is relatively good bourbon. Let's see. Moscow voices protest over Tokyo depicting Russia's South Kuril Islands as Japanese at G20. This is nuts. End of humor without PC. Mad Magazine cancels new content after 67 years of political satire. That is crazy. Crazy. I mean, I wasn't a big follower of Mad Magazine. Whenever I did see a cover or a cartoon or what, I appreciated it. I mean, I thought it was funny. I liked it. It was great. It was a political satire. It was great. They did a good job. They did a good job. It's sad. They'll be missed. They'll be missed. Let me have a sip real quick here. Magnitude 6.6 quake hits Southern California. It had been downgraded to a 6.4 the last I heard, but nonetheless, haven't heard of any injuries, but I have heard that there has been some structural damage in places, some fires and whatnot. But I haven't heard anything about injuries as of yet, so... strings attached while U.S. can't stop using toxic Russian RD-180 rocket engines. Well, if you read the article, and I'm not going to read the article, but I'm going to tell you kind of basically the rough idea of it, because we're not smart enough. Oh yeah, but we're going to kick their ass in a war. We can't even replicate a rocket engine. Seriously, read the article. Go to our Twitter page, grab the article, read it. We can't even replicate their rocket engine that was built, I think it was in the 80s. Even Iran is replicating our drones. Oh, yeah, don't say that. Oh, don't say that. America, America, America. Okay, I feel better, right? I'm telling you. We got a lot of symbolism in this country, and it is dangerous. Highly dangerous. Let's see. Talked about that, and talked about that. Check, check, and check. I do see a number one up here in RT. Oh, my God. In the wake of the Me Too movement, you remember the Pound Me Too movement? Disney cut scene from Toy Story 2. You remember that, though, right? The Pound Me Too movement. Pound Me Too. Oh, they call it a hashtag now. Hashtag. Pound Me. Yeah, Pound Me Too. We call it a pound sign, right? Forgive me for continually saying pound me too. I'm sorry. I hope you're not offended. This is fun. Oh, hey, fireworks. Or guns. You decide. I think fireworks. Anyway, let me go ahead and get this monologue closed up. I'm having too much fun with it. And dropping my glasses. Folks, I love this country. I do. I do. I love it so much that I'm willing to risk absolutely everything, including my life, to save it. I hope we can. I hope we can. But we have to drop the symbolism. We have to drop the symbolism. How do you know if somebody gave you a turd for a present if you don't take the pretty wrapper off the box to look inside and see? We've got to stop with the symbolism. Anyway, let me go ahead and close up the monologue. We'll get on with the rest of the show. You're here for the live show. Stick around. We'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That don't even stop on holidays. I think we've been taking Christmas off, and I think we'd take off Thanksgiving, or maybe last year. We normally don't take off holidays, though. So anyway, we'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're just here for the monologue or you're listening to the recording thereof, I doubt many people made it this far. But if you did, thank you very much. As always, God bless you, we love you, and be one with your spirit.